No. Hello everybody. Thank you for joining. I know this is super short notice, but I enjoy it. I trust you enjoy it as well. And that's why we're going to try and quickly finish this off. Like last time, we're not going to get indulgent 45 minutes. At the 45-minute mark, we will stop no matter what. Okay. Cool. Let's just get started. We're going to be discussing the questions from Game Week 4. I'm saying these things because I now know that the video has to go on YouTube. So I have to say, in the description, you will find a link to our question set and stuff. So if you want to try that out, please do. Right now, what we'll do is we'll just go quad by quad. There is topic by topic that we covered in this week's quiz, and whoever's available just start speaking up. We'll try and do that thing formally where one person is attempting all 4 questions. Okay, I just feel like it'll be more fun if we get one person to talk about their thoughts, right?
Correct.
So at the start of every quad, somebody just volunteer to take that one. Okay, this is what we did this week. As you can see, the toughest.
It doesn't matter if I actually got, because I mean it's very hard to musketeer in my set. People are just getting their own questions, right?
Of course. So, we don't have that many people on the call anyway. So whoever's there, just volunteer. If you feel like talking about how you did in that call, please tell us about it. It'll be fun to listen to.
I'll do Serkis, Andy Serkis for sure.
I think no, Sahil, that's not a problem. You can,
okay.
Walk in and out whenever you want. Okay, you don't need to pick your quads right now. We'll just get started.
Okay.
Quick summary about all the quads though. Pony cars was the toughest one by far. We actually had 2 questions in that quad that both ended up acting like L4s. That is very few people got.
No, that's chimps, because okay, when you come to that, I'll tell you.
Okay, and the easiest ones were Wiki logo scripts, which kind of makes sense. They were like normal languages that people have sort of come across. Currency of the Americas, again, we'll see when they see the answers, but again, not too surprising. Longest highways were actually a good collection of questions, I thought. Like one of them requires you to do a little bit of thinking and stuff. So I really enjoyed people doing well in that quad. It's a healthy quad that way. We can get started. First, who wants to attempt Quirky Museums?
Okay.
Don't make me do this, man. Don't make me ask questions and then there's silence like that. It's an odd thing to add to a YouTube.
No, I know what I'm going to pick, so I'm not going to do this.
So Sia, since you volunteered for something, great. Please don't make me say names. Somebody please volunteer.
I'll do
this work, Harman. Okay. So how does this work? Because we know the answers anyway, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's the best kind of quiz because everybody knows the answers. But what if you want to share something about what you thought or how you answered this question, then that's pretty much it. First question was about the museum that was started by a couple Zagreb-based artists. We said that objects possess holograms of memories and emotions. So what was this museum about? What did you think when you saw this?
Yeah, I think this was a question I put in a quiz 4 years back.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite easy.
It's the best way to answer the question, no? When you made the question yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so this was Museum of Breakups. You knew that one before. Second one was about Final Member. A little bit of innuendo along that. I thought there were too many quotes, too many double quotes for objects. We shouldn't have overdone it to that degree. Did you get this one?
I did not. So I answered that this was the appendix because final. Right. And yeah, there was a bunch of, I think 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds in the room.
Exactly. So and one of them was my mother, and exactly. I had to ask my mother the question. The answer was penises. It was a new experience for me. I did not think I'd be doing this. But
I think good spots all around.
Yeah. Third question was regarding the Cancun region of Mexico. What special kind of museum is that? What's special about it? The hint was, I think, pH neutral formations.
Yeah, I think somebody else in the group got this right. I think it was Rathin who got this right, which was a great answer.
I think one more clue in this was nature will add to the display over time. That was
said natural formations and nature will add to the display over time. That's right.
So I think pH neutral kind of made us think in the direction of this being water. But I think my answer was incorrect, and I thought that this is a museum where you have things sculpted with ice or water.
Yeah, that's nice.
Whereas I think the right answer was that this is inside of water. This is submerged underwater museum essentially.
Yeah. Question 4 was which a Turkish writer wrote something and then created a museum to accompany the novel. Did you know this one?
Yes, I think I got this one right. So I think Turkish writer narrows it down, Orhan Pamuk, and then Museum of Innocence.
So I'd actually never heard of the book before this quiz, much to my embarrassment. It's in my quiz and everything, but still I'd never heard of the book at all.
I think I'd answered this with a brain of bits quiz as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and also in my game, I mean, one of my participants who answered it, he added another funda, like in the book, there is a ticket to the museum inside the book as well.
Ooh,
someone added this thing. I think Kushan did that thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, Kushan during his quiz had told the reader that he'll be taking feedback. He'll be writing down feedback regarding the questions. And I thought that was so nice because at the end of the quiz, he actually did send me a very detailed note about quads that he liked, quads that he didn't like, little bits of feedback about every one of them, and some genuinely good feedback. Like in one thing, he calls out the difference between saying that something derives its name from something or gets its name from something. Derive implies that it's a variation. Gets its name means it's the same name. And he pointed out that we are quite loose about which one we use. We're not particular. And he's right. I've never thought about that. So going forward, we'll keep that in mind. Okay. Cafeteria Coffees. Who wants to attempt? What's that part? You want to attempt? Okay. First question for you. Which caffeinated beverage is basically an espresso with 3 parts of warm water?
Oh, this is this quad. Okay. I like this quad.
Okay. You want to take over instead?
No, let Parth do it.
Oh, I don't think I got any of these right.
Really? Okay, I got, because I'm a big this thing about.
Okay. Tell me the first one.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Espresso with water, particular nation.
Right. So when the Allied forces went to Italy, basically they found, actually it wasn't, this funda was also there, but they also found the espresso really strong.
Yeah.
Compared to the coffee back home.
I've heard that funda as well. The diners that they used to drink at had diluted coffee, something like that, right?
No. In America, basically they just drank coffee with coffee powder, but espresso is a really strong shot.
Okay.
So they had to add warm water to it to make it, or the cafes knew that they had to add warm water to it to make it more palatable to so many Allied soldiers who came from America.
Right. So first one becomes Americano. You just, the hint was particular nation. Second question was hybrid of espresso and hot chocolate, and we said a port in
Mocha.
Yemen.
Mocha was a coffee pour.
Did you know this already?
Yes.
Okay, so you knew that Mocha is a town in
yes.
Yemen. Nice. Third question was about steamed milk. It gets its name from Italian for steamed.
Correct.
Did you know this?
This is macchiato, I think.
It is macchiato, yeah.
Correct.
Did you guess that? Did you know that? Or which one is
No. So I actually said macchiato for the other one also.
Yeah.
Then I immediately knew it is not macchiato because it's not a Spanish word. And then this one came, because the stained one was after that. And so I derived the term. I think it's the same root as mask.
Oh, okay. This is also one of those quads where people, once you recognize what the quad is about, you hold on to one answer and you hope it will work somewhere. Macchiato. Okay, finally done. Third question was this one. Oh yeah, the Spanish one. Did you get this? Yeah.
I said macchiato for this and immediately regretted it, and I knew it's either corretto or cortado.
It started off very slowly, but I ended up getting answered like I think 10 times in the week. It became a little easier.
So one small trivia about the second one and the mocha.
Yeah.
So like that's the coffee that I drink the most, and it was a direct to me in my quiz. And I was about to answer mocha, and then the last sentence, it's a city in Yemen, that threw me off. Like, so I passed it, and unfortunately it ended up being mocha. Some small regrets.
Okay, this was probably our most popular pod somehow. Like this is definitely the longest list of people who got almost, that is 3 out of 4 in the pod. Correct? Who's attempting?
Anyone here?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Someone said that, no? Someone picked it up right now.
I'll say.
Who's saying yes? Who are my questions for? Who just volunteered? Okay, nobody volunteered. Great. Then Parth, I guess this is you again.
Okay. So
first question, Mohit Chauhan.
Yeah. So Mohit Chauhan, I still just the Duba Duba. I think I've been playing that song on repeat, for the last 1 month right now. So that was fairly straightforward, and I guess the last sentence was also pretty.
It was a giveaway. Yeah, I think the last sentence became a little too much. We could have kept that to ourselves. Might have helped with the percentage. Second one was which pop group from Stockholm? Did you know?
No, I was having the song in the head, which I didn't know this one, and neither did I know the other two actually. So if anyone knows,
so
I knew 1 and 2, and it didn't come to me. That's the thing.
I'll just left.
Okay, so third one was which one half of an acclaimed Bollywood composer duo? That is which one?
Vishal Shekhar.
Vishal Shekhar.
Yeah, that's Vishal Shekhar. Yeah, and
This is a good question. We didn't think about it.
Yeah, so quite a lot of people actually got it from that. Vishal Dadlani's band is Pentagram. And last one was Bangalore based. I think this got corrected later. I think we changed that later on to Delhi based. Did anybody get that? Parikrama?
Yeah, that video was. I mean, I'm old, but yeah, when I was there, it was all over there on TV.
You can see
in the Himalayas is playing Sonam Sharpa solo and all that.
So this is one of the quads that went right, as you can see from the elegant decrease in correct percentage, which is basically what we're going for. Not all quads are like that, as you will see.
No, I'm surprised Parikrama was the. Yeah, okay, I guess age-wise. Okay.
Silk Route could have been part of your highways also, retro.
In fact, I mean, you'll be surprised that keeps happening because when you're reading to prepare a question set, you'll obviously read in multiple directions, but starting from the same points. So certain topics will often fall into two separate quads. It keeps happening over and over. Okay, Game of Thrones, somebody's actually just joined the call who did super well in this. Kothuri, are you here? Kothuri?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, we're addressing the questions to you for Game of Thrones musical cameos.
Cool.
Okay, first question was which band's drummer Will Champion?
Yes. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know how this goes. This is the first time I'm here. What am I supposed to say?
What were you thinking? Did you already know this? Did you figure it out?
I knew this. I in fact set, I think long back, maybe 2-3 years back, a quiz where I did have GOP cameos as one of the topics that I was looking at. So, and Will Champion happens to be the drummer of one of my favorite bands.
So the answer is?
Can you also tell the answers? Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know any of these.
Yeah, is it? So the answer for Will Champion is the drummer of Coldplay. So he's there in, I think he's there in the Red Wedding on top.
Yeah.
When all comes.
Second question for you. Which band's frontman Gary Lightbody? The last sentence is, which makes sense considering there are no cars to chase in Westeros. Vikas, I know, is very happy with the framing of this question. Like he's so
Even I got by that from last word. I have not watched GOT. I tacked it from that thing only.
What is the answer to that?
The answer to this is Snow Patrol. So chasing cars is probably the clue that he was referring to.
There's a song called Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol.
Yeah.
So if you say something like that, no cars to chase, then that's where everybody will go. So yeah.
I had a doubt, Harman. I mean, did the answer sheet had a prompt for police? Because someone actually said police in my game, and somebody the reader said prompt. I actually got confused from that thing because police and Snow Patrol has no. I mean, they're not close enough. Yeah.
No, that definitely shouldn't happen. Let me know who was reading that game. We can educate and go on. My stance, by the way, since mistakes are happening with like some frequency, my stance with these things is whatever the reader did is the right thing only. Okay, we're not going to change anything. Sorry.
I mean, I was quite confident with the guess, but his prompt actually threw me off. But then I said, okay, luckily it turned out right.
No, I understand. Like you definitely should have not gotten a prompt over there. But yeah, what to do. But yeah, do let me know who's reading, and then we can make that better. Third question was 3 members from which heavy metal band? The band itself was named after a large extinct mammal, elephant-like mammal.
Mastodon is the answer.
This is the only band I've actually heard of.
Yes. And last question was which Icelandic duo sang Reigns of Castamere?
So this is Sigur Rós, and it's actually quite nice if you listen to so they come in the purple wedding, and Joffrey throws them some coins, and also the end credits is their version of Reigns of Castamere. So it's quite nice.
So I don't think this is actually workable at all for anybody who didn't follow Game of Thrones. The only reason why anybody would know about this band is if you were a Game of Thrones fan. So it's impossible otherwise. It's not that.
Not true. Not all true. I've been listening to Sigur Rós for about 10 years. So I think Icelandic band usually. So the two things you'd want to remember quizzing side of things. One, Icelandic, you'd probably refer to Sigur Rós or Björk. And in terms of the other cool thing about Sigur Rós is they sing in complete gibberish language that they made up called Hopelandic. So these are probably the two standout things about them.
In the previous the quad, I was waiting for Ed Sheeran. I think he also had a
yeah. When I was So how we do this is because normally, like if he's made questions, then he'll start posting them on the group and we attempt them. Or if I've made questions, I'll do the same. So when he started the question with me, I was also waiting. Ki kabhi na kabhi to Sheeran aayega, and I'll have one answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mercenary Units, nobody got an almost in this. Nobody got 3 out of 4 in 34 quizzes. Who's attempting? Nupal, I think you have to take one.
Yeah, I'll take this. I answered the first one. I think
Is
English word used across profession. This was freelancer.
Yes.
I got this. The gig and all. Yeah.
I actually saw the same funda in a different quiz as well.
ZQL.
ZQL, yeah. So it's quite cool that, I mean, there's absolutely no connection between the two. It just happens that the exact same question appeared in both leagues.
Right.
Second question was, which country?
Yeah. So this was happened to be Swiss Guards. I answered Vatican Guards actually, and I think someone else answered Swiss Army or Swiss Guards. Yeah.
Yes. So I was in a couple of quizzes where people knew they could describe who they were, they could describe what they were doing, but they couldn't remember the name.
Right.
Third question, which elite fighting unit? So the Byzantine emperors. Anybody on the call knew this?
No.
This is one of our toughest questions. It was, I think, answered only 5 times in the entire league. I'm guessing nobody is here.
Nobody.
Someone in my quiz, yeah, but no.
I noticed the foreigners were better at this overall.
Yes.
And last question was Private Army of Putin, which I don't think was an L4, as you can see over here. It really didn't act like the toughest question.
Yeah, the German thing helped me. Even that was a direct to me. I just guessed the last in the German name. I mean,
By the way, so when you're putting the 6.1, these are your toughness ratings.
Yeah, it's always an increasing order difficulty. So what you're going for is you want the easiest one to get answered a pretty high number of times. Second one.
I figured. Okay. Go on.
Okay, so yeah. So
I think the third one was answered by Bastian. I think he's from Germany. I think he got it, and we all clapped for him.
I think it's the first one to answer that one also. Okay. Life from Marconi. Who's on the call but hasn't said anything? Because you can't attempt, can you? You want to attempt? Yeah, because you attempt. Sure.
What?
Yeah, why not? I mean, share what your thoughts are. First question. Because you did attempt this at some point when I shared questions with you. So
I did, yeah.
So who shared the Nobel Prize for wireless telegraphy?
Of course, Marconi.
Well done. It's a good crack.
Well done, Vikas. I think
what is called Marconi.
Good crack.
It is in fact Marconi. Did you get the first time I asked?
I think a lot of quizzes, actually, I mean, I was surprised while reading this because a lot of people missed Marconi. And that's because a lot of people, I don't think, recognize wireless telegraph
as radio.
Radio and stuff. So I think that connection was missed. The moment anyone connected it, it was like an immediate crack. Otherwise, they were just like.
Second question was probably one of the easiest in the whole league. But it got passed or wrong like very few number of times. I think there were too many hints in the question. I was very pleased with the question. I thought I had done a great job with the question, but turns out it was way too easy.
Yeah, I mean, seeing of that, I think it's also helped by the fact that we have White Star Line on it.
Yeah.
Like if that was not there, it was just 1912, it would probably been a slightly trickier question. Like some people probably would have missed it.
Man, honestly, all quizzes they say 1912, I say Titanic. It doesn't matter. If it's an India round also, I'd say Titanic. I don't get 1912, I know one thing.
Third question, who was this fellow? I mean, there's a lot of text over here, but the only helpful part is down here. His name is SI unit for frequency.
Yeah, same. I mean, all of that irrelevant at the end of the day because there is SI unit for frequency and that is hertz.
And tough one, Marconi's ancestor is the founder of what Irish product? Anybody on the call got this?
A few more. So I think you could have given a few more hints on this one and taken off this frequency thing and made that a 4.
Maybe, yeah. So Vikas actually warned me about exactly this. He said, word for word, he said Guinness is going to keep coming. So you have to put something that makes them not say Guinness. And I did not listen to him. And I said, no, it's perfectly fine the way it is. He's right. Most people said Guinness first, and then the next person would either get Jameson's or not.
I said whiskey. I think you said you didn't. You prompted me, but I didn't get the Jameson. Yeah.
But it's nicely played as a elf.
Yeah, that number is pretty much what we're going for. 7% is great. I think I would like all L4s to be at 7%.
I think this was one of my most favorite questions of the week because I think, I also said Guinness. I did not get it, but great fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. One of mine. Thanks.
Can you just go back to the question once? No?
Yes.
The Jameson one.
Yeah. So
when you say by far the best selling in this category, you mean best selling whiskey in the world?
No, it's the best-selling Irish whiskey in the world.
Irish whiskey.
I'm aware that is shady. I'm sorry, but
Well done. That is very shady. Okay.
Question: Life of Vitruvius. We just finished Life of Marconi, by the way. 4 questions extracted from Marconi.
I'll take Vitruvius.
We're attempting the same thing with Vitruvius. So yeah, question for you. First one, again, because the order changes in the actual quiz. So Vitruvius describes how a human body can be fit into a certain square. It led to MS ink on paper drawing.
So exactly. So this one and Da Vinci, right? They're connected. If you say circle, square, drawn on a thing and all that, you can get Vitruvius. And then if you get Vitruvius, you get Michelangelo. Da Vinci. And if you get Da Vinci, you get Vitruvius. So it didn't matter which order you put this in.
Yeah.
If you put man in a circle, triangles and squares and all that.
No. What I meant by that was there is a question here, the L3, for example, that just asks for the name. Who is the Roman architect? So because the questions appear in a certain order, we can use a quad intro as a question of a certain difficulty.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, then you did the right. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm reading it wrong. Okay,
so,
yeah.
so
5.1 is perfect. That is Da Vinci.
Yeah. So
and then
instead, Da Vinci was answered. It's the only one that crosses 90%. Only 2 people either passed or said something wrong with that. I did not check who it was. I'm sorry. Sure. And second question was, this was another very easy one. Venus status. What does that mean?
Someone in my thing got prompted for sexy body for Venus.
I probably might have prompted.
No, not you.
Okay.
But that my reader was actually very, very, very good.
Then tell name.
Avikant, someone.
Nice.
Avikant. I don't know his last name.
Yeah.
He was really a good reader.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. You should put him for a lot more reading.
I'll do that. Okay. Third question was who Vitruvius is. I don't think that well known, but acted okay as an L3, I guess. And and third question was which medical theory is it that he was commenting on? Yeah,
this one was difficult.
Did you answer the L4?
No. I didn't answer this.
Anybody on the call who got that?
I think people went with malaria only.
Same. Even my game was somewhat say malaria only.
People were attempting humor, which I thought was a good guess. Like it's roughly in the same area. Diseases, Greek words. But my husband turned out to be difficult. Incidentally, slightly easier than Vitruvius. So the order got screwed up over there. Okay. Question is next. Ponika, this is the toughest quad in this week's quiz. Who's attempting? Arpita, did you say you're attempting? Okay, thanks. First question for you.
I only got the first question, and that too because it said pony car, and literally only one car I knew that sounded like a horse.
I know, but I know a bunch of people passed on that. Even though the Mustang is maybe the one car they might know, they still passed on this. So good spot for that, the pony car.
Correct. So I got that on the pass. So that's Mustang, Ford Mustang. I was prompted to also give the make. I have no clue, dude. I did not read this week, so
I think we have Parth in the
all
call.
the answers are jumbled.
Oh, is Parth here?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, perfect. Parth, then you should be teaching us. Teaching us. No, you did well in this. Please tell how you can get these questions right.
So I literally knew 4 pony cars. I think they are the most famous, all of these, like the Dodge Challenger, and I think they're the most famous 4 cars. So and Mustang, was the first question. It was a direct to me, so that was fine. I think next I got the Dodge Challenger passed to me, and I was a bit confused there between the Challenger and the Camaro, because like Breaking Bad, I had vaguely remembering the scene. It's a new. It's a new modern car which is there.
Correct.
So it was not the Firebird.
Yes.
So I was like, whether should I answer the Challenger or the Camaro? I answered the Camaro and got that wrong.
Well, that's actually well worked out. So because it's a new car, it can't be a Firebird because Firebird doesn't have a particularly new model, whereas Challenger does. Shit,
one thing is, I think you could have made this competing model as an italicized thing for Challenger, and then moved on, and then not put competing model for anything else, because that is an actual Challenger.
That's what you're saying. Oh, it took me a while to understand what you were saying. That would have been nice. I was not clever enough to think of that. We'll try that next time. Yeah. Sorry, Parth, were you done? What was next?
No, so
Can I
next.
ask questions? Parth, what is a pony car? You said you knew pony cars. What is a pony car?
So it was the like basically Mustang came out and it got a name as a pony car because of the horse connotations, and then there were cars which looked and had features similar to the Mustang, so they all
Mustang.
got grouped together.
They
as
are
pony.
also called American muscle cars.
Yeah,
American
Mustang.
muscle cars.
Yeah.
Incidentally, that's how I first read about them. I don't know how many years ago this was, but at some point I had a little Wikipedia spree where I read about the Ford Mustang and the Camaro together. And if you see their generations, it was quite cool because they put photos on the Wikipedia page, right? You can see how they're basically just imitating each other. Each generation looks like, the competing car and so on. And that's actually why maybe these 4 questions turns out they're not as popular as I thought they were, at least over here. So as you can see, 2 separate questions acted as an L4, which is why this is the toughest part. Only 6 times and 5 times respectively. And the easiest one was Mustang, not too surprising. Anything else that any Path you wanted to add for these questions?
Not particularly. Like after I answered the Challenger one, like I remembered the camera had featured in Transformers, and I was like, okay, like that's probably going to be the next one which is going to come up, and yeah.
I expect Knight Rider to be a slightly bigger thing actually. So Knight Rider may,
Yes.
I mean, because it's like literally a character, so I thought people might know.
Right.
Okay. Wiki logo is a relatively easier code, which I'm surprised by. I would not have done very well in this, but you guys did well done. Who's attempting?
Arthur's there.
I can do this.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, Parth just
I
finished.
think Parth is there. Okay.
No. After you need it. Okay, this one is fictional language.
Yeah, fictional alien race. So Klingon, I think, gets points at least somebody should attempt it. And the first person who attempted it got it right.
Yep.
Okay,
second one is which Indian classical language? Again, these questions don't work without the image.
Yeah. No, this is fine because this is also my language. Kannada, unfortunately, did not come to me. So,
funny thing happened
but
in
yeah.
my game.
It's a Kannada or Tulu?
Oh, actually, cool. I can claim both languages.
Is Giri here?
No,
he's not. Okay. Giri was telling me that in his quiz, he was corrected that it's the letter apparently appears in 2 separate writing systems, but not in exactly the same way, something like that.
Correct. That's right. So it looks similar to the Telugu script as well.
Which is
but
why
then I guess.
So I was really confident, and it came to me at the last, and I can read Telugu because I'm Telugu. And then I was like, "This is Telugu," and he was like, "Oh, wrong answer." I was like, "No, it's Telugu. I know." And this was a foreign reader, right? So I'm like, "No, Telugu, trust me." And he said Kannada, and I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?"
Okay.
Yeah, they're just super similar except for like some little bit of flair. I think that's in Telugu. So yeah.
Which script is this used for Slavic, Turkic, Mongolic, etc.?
Yeah, this was Cyrillic, I guess. So again, the country is giving the clue over there.
I'm pretty sure this was this easier than the last one? Yeah, much easier than Kannada.
Yeah.
And,
because there are also a lot of foreigners, so then I don't have it.
Not that many foreigners also, but like
20, 30 of them.
Okay. And
so this question, I really wanted to answer Cambodia, but then I was like, nahi, pata nahi, and then finally went with Thai. But I guess Khmer or Cambodia gives you points over it.
Can somebody teach me how to think about this question? Because I wouldn't have attempted this also. I would have probably just passed. Is there anything that in the question that gives me that answer?
Empire.
I think Buddhism and Pali.
No, so Pali gives you Buddhist and all that.
Southeast Asian nation.
But the empire thing narrows it down very, very.
Yeah, I mean, she's right. I mean, you can either go with Thailand or you can go with Cambodia. I mean, narrowing down was actually perfect.
Interesting.
Ethnic group / empire, I think that is quite close. And
thank you for that.
So I think in my game, the Kannada one was very tricky. I think it came to me direct. So I said Tamil. So the next person in the passing order was actually a Tamil guy. So he said Telugu. And the third person in the passing order was actually Telugu guy. So he said Kannada and he got it right. That's what happened.
Things like this happen, and I really wish there was a recording. Could have made like a tiny clip or something.
You could have sent it to Ajay Devgan.
Yeah, but that happened before. My game happened before that fiasco.
Okay. We have a musketeer for Kothuri.
Oh,
a big round of applause for Kothuri getting 4 out of 4 in this.
Is he there or is he left? I really like.
He's the other guy in the Vikas Plakot video stream. I want to share something. Do you know why Kozuri got a musket in this? Everybody on the call. So Kozuri predicted a few weeks ago. He thought Andy Serkis filmography would be a great topic for a quad. So I should probably just read about them. So he sat and read Andy Serkis movies and stuff. And 2-3 weeks later, it shows up in a quiz.
Know your QM.
Not even movies and stuff, just like know your quiz master. No, actually, I was just wondering. I don't know why I thought Andy Serkis would be a good quad. I literally just said Andy Serkis characters. Went to Google. You see the list of characters. It's a side carousel, right? I just went through that. That's all I did.
Oh, sorry. You're Avinash Kothari.
Yes.
I'm
Okay. Sorry. Vikas is sitting at the back.
Okay, let's go quickly. We have only 15 minutes.
Okay, the first one is Gollum or Smeagol. I think that's probably Andy Serkis's most famous role and what he got like international fame with. Then the second one is Captain Haddock. So, which was interesting. I think if you see Secret of the Unicorn and comic book series, you might arrive at perhaps Tintin. Also, the fact that it was the first motion captured animated film that won. But again, which character is difficult to guess, right? The third one, Black Panther, Claw. I know this because the Marvel universe was quite upset that he didn't get more screen time because Claw otherwise is actually quite a prominent villain. And the fourth one is Snoke, who is the newer villain in the entire Star Wars.
Perfect. And yeah, I mean, we have that nice gentle progression that we're going for. 49, 23, 12. I mean, small scroll right at the end. Snoke turned out to be slightly easier than Ulysses Claw, which kind of makes sense in hindsight. Okay. Next for sciences, who's trying obsolete measurement units? Nobody was good.
I think I got 2 on 4, and I knew the third one didn't come to me.
Okay. You're attempting. First question, a protein that Jim Bros love. I don't think we need anything else.
This I didn't know, but I didn't know this, but whoever direct was, he got it. Kushan, I think it was Kushan's direct. It was way.
Right. Second question was
this I knew, but didn't turn out to me. This is Coast Minar, so it's in Delhi also. I've seen Coast Minar.
This is for long.
This is for long. Yeah, this is for long. Sorry, this is for long. It came direct to me. Yeah. Sorry. I'm just jumped the gun. Yeah, for long.
Vikas, was it one of your quizzes in which there was some confusion about 1/6 versus 1/8 or something like that?
Yeah. It was not the one we sat in late.
Okay. And,
yeah. So third one also, I learned it in engineering, so I knew this thing. Trust. So a lot of bad memories, but yeah, I got this thing. And the fourth one was it's course. Okay, I'm surprised it's level 4, but I thought maybe Furlong was tougher than course. I thought, but then again, yeah. Okay, fine. I mean, fine. That was but nice thing. Yeah.
Where do you come across Coast Minar except for the ones on the questions? I've never come across it, which is why I'm asking.
No, I think in Delhi I've seen a museum. I think when I was in Qutub Minar, I read someone on Coast Minar. I don't remember. So that's how I remember this thing, Coast Minar thing.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Okay, invasive species. I'm sorry, I'm going a little fast now because I really do want to finish in 12 minutes. Who's attempting invasive species? CR, I guess it's you again.
No. I didn't get any of these. I hadn't even heard of most of them. So count me.
Amartya, can I convince you to try this?
Yeah, sure. First one, it's common ivy. I said creeper, but I didn't get a thing. But yeah, it was an easier one.
This was a mistake, especially for an L1. We added popular during Christmas time. A bunch of people tripped up and said mistletoe.
Holly.
Mistletoe and holly became the
Yeah, second one was, I think this was Burmese python.
Can you explain how anybody can possibly know that? Because I don't know that.
I didn't know that, and I passed it also. But I think probably, I mean, someone with the knowledge of wildlife, and you probably can narrow it down to maybe a snake family or something. Like, given that maybe that's how it can help. I passed it directly because I'm pretty poor in wildlife. Third one, I actually knew, but I was refraining because I got a wrong pass. But it's water hyacinth. Fourth one, I think there should have been a hint to, maybe it was flora or fauna, something like that.
Yeah, I noticed that as well because in a lot of quizzes that I was reading, people were going for plants, and it's because we left sugarcane plantations here, which makes you think plants, and then nothing else in the question corrects you. So
yeah,
all proof of that.
Yeah, cane toad, that was, yeah.
Yeah,
The previous one, for the Pythons, I think one sentence gave it for me, which is the change of heart pet owners. I think, yeah, that was, I think, something that could make it work outable, because I was like, okay, this is something that consumes other things, can go in water, but also people want as pets. What could it possibly be? And then you think of all of the people who keep snakes in cages and stuff like that, right? So that was something that gave me.
We're moving on to a quad that's absolutely Greek to me. It's I feel funny just reading out the questions also. But yeah, who's attempting this? Some football person?
I'll take it.
No, I mean, like,
anybody
I was not being rude and I just passed it. Like, you know,
I can take it because I actually watch football a lot, and I knew 3 of them, but 2 didn't come out to me. I just got one on my direct only.
Like I'm used to not having stuff to read, but some of these were just new names to me. So that's like.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, I mean, AS Roma in Italy, one-man club. So Totti is like, you know, they are like, it's like Sachin and God, something like that. That was Kalis Piol again. I mean, if you know, you know it. I mean, there is nothing derivable, but that only goal thing maybe is for stats fans, like people who remember, you know, all golden ball and for them it can be helpful.
Okay.
Third one, I think, you know, it's a TIL to me. I think that should be level 4 probably, because the goalkeepers at Brazil are more famous internationally. None of them. I mean, Senni is not that famous at all.
Okay.
A fourth one, yeah, I mean, Charlton. I mean, you could. I didn't know the surname of. I couldn't recall the first name, but then you said you needed the entire name. So
yeah.
So that's why I went with Roy Keane and Bobby Keane only, because Republic of Ireland and England thing.
So later on in the week, we added a sentence at the end of L4, which is full name required. Does that tell you that you're looking for a surname that occurs twice in the world of football?
I mean, United is Bobby Charlton. So if anyone knows Bobby's brother is all football, could have guessed Charlton. You know, Bobby Charlton is a United one man only.
Yeah.
Isn't one of the Keanes also Manu?
Roy Keane. Yeah. Roy Keane is Manu.
Roy Keane is not Roy Keane, but not a one club man.
Not a one club guy. Correct. He's most associated with Manu.
Yeah, he's most associated with Manu. Yeah. Okay, so Olympic demonstration sports. Who wants to start? 7 minutes, guys. Come on.
Let's go. I'll give it a shot.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Which sport made an appearance as a demonstration sport and then became permanent in 1988?
So I think because of South Africa, we all thought it was, South Korea, we all thought it was archery, but it turned out to be taekwondo. So none of us got
this one.
The second one, demonstration sport, I think a lack of clarity on how to define amateur players is the key sentence there. And that's where tennis comes in, whether it's,
You know the thing you said about 1912 making you say Titanic no matter what the question? 1988 for me is tennis. Okay.
Yeah.
It's imprinted now.
Yeah, just because you mentioned the men's winner, no, I thought let's go with tennis only. Even I was not sure, but I took a shot because you didn't mention Steffi Graf there. So I thought probably that's why.
That's really good.
Yeah, because you specifically mentioned men's. That's why I went with tennis. I mean, I didn't know that demo sport, but that's how I got it.
That's an excellent answer. Well done.
Smart. I think I did not know the third and fourth sports existed in the first place. So the third one was in Thailand.
I can tell you a little bit about third one.
Yeah.
Also called Basque Pelota. But
so technically, even Pelota Vasca is also one of the things, and Vasca translates to Basque only. So you should have kind of accepted that one. ILI, Pelota Vasca, and Basque Pelota.
Quite a lot of people said pelota and expected that to go through.
Pelota just means ball. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's what Vikas said to me as well. But so what? If that's the term that they use for the sport, then we should be accepting it.
Highlight is what they use.
Correct.
And the Merve Gauche is kind of like a handball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know about korfball?
I've heard of it, but I've never pulled it in time. And
so I've played korfball.
Oh,
funnily enough. Never thought in my life anybody else would have known about this at all. But yeah, it was a fun reminder. Yes, nostalgia trip.
Last two calls.
I can take this. Longest highways.
Yes, let's go longest highways. First question. Okay, what highway network connects Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai?
Yeah, this was the Golden Quadrilateral. It was
quite a lot of people seem to know that. Second question was Russian federal highways.
Yeah, so this was Trans-Siberian. There was a hint in the question as well.
Yeah, so I mean, you get that you're talking about Russia, and I think people have just heard the term Trans-Siberian Railway, I suppose. So that's the hint over here in another transport network. Third question. What road basically stretches from Alaska to Chile or Argentina?
This was Pan-American.
Yes. If you say it's very painfully leaving out the word America in the question, like it's very not organic at all. Why would you say just Alaska? But yeah, it's doing that just so we can get America in the answer. And
the last one, this was actually, I got this one. I was a little confused because Hobart was an outlier here, right?
Yes, I was told about that later on. So
I thought it's a googly, but I just went with Australia, because someone else said Canada, and so I think one more person answered Brasilia. So
Brazil was a
good. Yeah, answer.
So let me just explain that for everyone. It's connecting all state capitals, but not the national capital. So that's Canberra. Canberra is inland. All other state capitals in the mainland of Australia are coastal towns. So I think actually can connect them. I did not think of Hobart. And I blame Wikipedia, which is I chopped out the question from the first sentence on Highway 1 says, okay, it's connecting up. So,
nice quad.
There is a famous highway 1 in USA also, but then I think you very cleverly put 14,000 kilometers, which is impossible in America.
I was not thinking that at all, but that definitely was intended. Okay. Question for last quad, currency of the Americas.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can take this. So this is peso.
Yes.
I think the most common South American currency. I didn't know this was like American currency specifically, but yeah, I mean, peso, Spanish. So I got the thing. Second one, I mean, very nicely helped. I mean, by the hyperinflation thing. So Venezuela is going through.
Again, this is not one of my quotes, so I don't know. Can you tell me how does that help?
So basically, current affairs. I mean, Venezuela ever since that Hugo Chavez got down, I mean, their economy is is in total tatters. So that's how I got to Venezuela. I mean, initially, since you mentioned that it is named after Bolivar, it can't be Bolivia. So I thought, okay, can go with Venezuela because their economy. I mean,
I now that you've said it, I'm definitely going to at some point ask a question with Bolivar, and the question where the answer is Bolivia.
You did that in game week 1, right? Lake Titicaca, Bolivia, that landlocked countries in Aqualand.
Okay.
Lake Titicaca.
We didn't mention Bolivar.
Yeah.
The question.
But
he said he will someday ask a question with Bolivar in the question, but the answer is Bolivar.
Yeah. This is something I personally find quite amusing. A lot of quizzes assume that if you've shown me the answer, that can't possibly be the answer. And I like playing with that. I like
No. I mean, this was not my direct. Kushan said it was. I think it was the last question of the day, or the second last question of the game. So Kushan was in a hurry. He saw the question. He said Bolivia directly because he had to attend the game 1 minute later, 10 o'clock. So when he said Bolivia, it was I was the next in the passing order. So I said, okay, Venezuela, because now that his eliminator member was possible. Guys.
Nice.
9.3 was 9.3 was my direct. I knew this. I knew this thing. Quetzal is a bird, and I knew. So I just. That was, and fourth one was a toughie for me. I think everyone passed in the game, so I didn't know this. I think it's Guini. I still don't remember. I think something with GUI, but I don't know.
I'd never heard of it. I'd never heard of Quetzal either.
L1 to L4 though.
Yeah, so 63, 57, 32, 11. So that's perfect. Completely unintended, but it worked.
So what we're going to do is now set a question with 1988 in the question and the answer being cricket. Right. So that
makes sense. Okay. That's about it. That is all for today's this week's retro. Thank you for joining. I'm aware that this is not everybody's idea of fun, but it is your idea of fun. Great. So I should see you next week for game week 5 retro.
Nice sort of question.
Yes, everyone.
Thanks for your time, guys. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.